Good evening and welcome to EBN TV. This is the Spheres of Life. I'm your host, Jeff Kimaiyo.
And I, Carolyne Muthoni. We are happy to have you on our episode here at Spheres of Life. Thank you for joining us and sitting down to listen to us. So, today we are having a great guest with you, which we had last time. That's Winnie, tackling the topic perspectives in marriage. And you can ask any question that you'd like us to answer you on our social media platforms. That's on YouTube, The Legend Productions, or on Facebook and Instagram, Jeff Somba The Legend. So welcome and feel free to ask any question.
On Spheres of Life, we make sure that there's transparency, objectivity, and sanity in the stories that we're making here. It is my hope that you've had a great day and week. I know you've had a great service where you service today as far as church issues and spiritual matters are concerned. It's good to serve God. And now today we have a great guest, as you've heard from co-host Caroline. And now we talk of issues that concern us in life, because I said life has great challenges, and if we don't handle challenges with other people, that is why we find ourselves in pain. But tonight, because we have a great topic on the perspectives of marriage or on marriage. We want to handle issues that feel or are felt as hard or challenges in the life of marriage. So tonight, on the Spheres of Life, we want to make sure that you understand some of the things that may look challenging into your life. So today we have Winfred, and we had Samson last week, and we are tackling the same topic, this perspectives of life. I think you also got something from the same topic, because what we said first and general is that marriage itself is a pivotal point and a point or level in life, because it brings out greater generations. And to help us understand all this, and we have another guest who is joining us as we move some steps with Winnie. So don't think that we have just one guest. And we said marriage is very important because it brings out greater generations. It brings out great leaders with us in our lives and in the society, the communities that we have. So tonight, we are proud, we are honored, we are privileged to have Winfred Kisoi again on EBN TV. How are you, Winfred?
Hi, Jeff and Caroline.
Hi.
So thank you once again for having me today.
Yes.
And I've had a good day. I'm doing well generally. So thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, you're most welcome. And today we are handling the same topic on perspectives of marriage. And because we have to balance issues there and there, because we know that you're not married, there are some things that you cannot tackle because you are on the other level of life. So before we get to the main issue, who is Winfred Kisoi?
As I said last time, in case you didn't hear what the introduction that I did last time, so my name is Winfred Kisoi, and to begin with, I am a born-again lady and serving the Lord currently at Redeemed Gospel Church, though I also serve in other ministries. And that's my joy and passion, especially serving along the young people. And career-wise, I'm working currently for a software company in operations and finance as a senior executive there. And also in terms of my education background, I have done Bachelor of Commerce, the University of Nairobi. That's my undergraduate. Postgraduate, have done a master's degree in business management, or just majoring mainly in strategy. And I've done also CPA, CIPS, and currently I'm also pursuing data analysis. So as I said last time, I think I just love books, and I realized anytime I say I'm taking academic break, I find myself going back to books again. So that's who I am generally.
I think that is the secret for you not aging. Although you are youth, but I think the secret of you trying to strengthen your muscles and to make you look younger again. So before we get again into our topic, now let's know a bit of your life. Where is Winfred Kisoi born?
Thank you for that question, Jeff. So I'm born in Kitui County. I was born and raised in Kitui County, Mwingi sub-county. That is where I come from. They call it a very dry area. Actually, I was there yesterday.
Is it dry?
Is it dry? It is. Honestly, it is. It's not rumors. It's quite dry, and yeah, we rarely see rain there.
Yeah.
So it's quite dry. That's where I'm raised. I was born there and raised there.
And how do you navigate in terms of provision or availability of water?
I would say growing up we had such challenges because water was a very rare commodity, such that even when we were going to shower, you are told, just put 1 jug of water. I remember my mom really used to insist on that. Just 1 jug, everyone. So you would really want to hide yourself and put at least 2 jugs so that she doesn't see you putting a lot of water in the basin. So initially we had such challenges, but now with technology and all that, I think people have come up with boreholes and all that, and even piping water into their homes. So I think with technology things are getting better. Yeah, things are getting better. It's not, even people have come up with ways to store water because sometimes we get a lot of rain and we have challenges with water storage. So I think people have just gotten the wisdom and the knowledge on water storage. So nowadays the challenges are not as many as we had those days.
And how did you grow up?
That's a very general question.
The school you went to,
but
school.
It's okay. So growing up as a young girl, I went to school as any other normal girl would go.
Mention the school.
I went to a school in I went to a school in Kitui County or in Mwingi. And because I come from a small area called Nzawa, and actually our village is called Clinic. And so many people ask me, where is your village clinic? And I tell them it's because the people had so many questions that area until they are told Lizzie and Maswali is a clinic. So the area is called that. So I went to a primary school called Zawa Primary School. And God enabled me to be a very bright girl in class because mom really used to push me so hard because her being the class representative in the board of parents and teachers, she didn't want me to shame her. So every time she would really insist, I would have teachers both in school and at home. And so it's like I was studying too much. So I went just that primary school and I remember excelling too much. But to me, I think I was just used to it. Even when she called me and told me the marks that I had and I was topping in the sub-county, I think as the best girl there. And she called me and told, because I had come to Nairobi to visit my sister when I finished the KCP. And she called me and she's so excited about the marks. But me, I'm like, it's not a big deal to me. But looking back, I really thank God because that enabled me. It gave me breakthrough even when I went to high school to get scholarship. So people actually came from nowhere to just looking for me to offer scholarship for me going now to high school. High school, I went to Loreto High School in Muru. And you can imagine the transition from Kitui to Limuru. It's wild and it's heaven and earth. Because Kitui is very hot, Limuru is so cold. So in the first few months...
How did you adapt to the changes from...
I really suffered, I tell you, Jeff, I really suffered. The first few months I was really suffering. Because I had never been in such an environment where it's so cold. But I made it, I managed, I also, and I managed to finish. Because you have no choice. You can't go back home and excuse yourself because of the cold. But the school also was allowing us to put on home clothes. After classes and also during the weekends, we could wear home clothes and we could also wear, they were allowing us to wear some jackets and leg warmers and all that. So the school was, and they could warm water for us to shower. So I really appreciate that school. It really mentored me to be who I am today. I learned so many things there.
And actually, when you were schooling, there are some challenges that you find in school, and some are actually withdrawing because of the challenges that they find, maybe academic or maybe financial from the parents. How did you navigate through the challenges that maybe caught you up in high school?
And actually, these challenges are real. And I remember the number one challenge that I face is going to this school. This school is a national school. It's very big. Actually, I was remembering that experience the first time I got in. And somebody greeted me, "Hi, Winfred." I never had that greeting before. So I kept quiet. It's my sister who told me you should respond hi. So those are some of the like coming from the village to this school where interacting with people from cities, people from very rich backgrounds, and you are here, you're confused. Even your English is not Englishing. That is what they are saying nowadays. And somebody asked me, I went and kept my box in the box room, and then the dorm captain came and was like, Kisoi, where is your box? And then I was inside the box room. And then they looked at me, is this how you talk?
That's English from Mwingi.
It's English from Kitui. You don't know even how to speak English. And mind you, I was the best student, even in English. I had performed so well even in English, but I knew maybe how to write. I don't know how to speak. And I didn't know. So they asked me, is this how you speak? And I'm like, what am I speaking? And from there is when I started, wow, these challenges are real. And we kind of are facing that intimidation.
Did that make you kind of disappointed? Or even
it lowered my self-esteem, actually. It lowered my self-esteem. But I started now taking it positive on how to, because I remember being asked a question in class, like, what is the work of the police? And I shoot my hand so confidently. And then I say to maintain law and order. And the whole class laughed.
Now, is Mwingi close to Imenti?
And the whole class was laughing. And then for me, I was not understanding, why is the class laughing? But then I realized my English had a problem. So I actually made a prayer to God, and I told God, because I know God will use me greatly in my generation. Please give me to know how to speak good English.
Are you able to spell the word onda?
Of course, it's just the normal order, but it has an N. You know, as Kambas, we are privileged to adding N's whenever we are speaking. So those are some of the challenges that I face, and also I would mention also the challenge of finances, finding that your parents is not really able to come. You know, there are people who would come to school as if they are coming to open a supermarket because they are carrying very heavy shoppings. They are carrying 5 liters of juices, so much. And you are there, you have nothing. Your parent cannot afford. And you start even hating your life, hating yourself. So to every student maybe who could maybe watching this, it's just a matter of time, because I face that. Right now I'm not that. I can tell you I am not, because it's just an experience that shapes us, and be able to appreciate the backgrounds that we are coming from. Because some of us are privileged, others we are not, and it's not a mistake. It's just the way life is, and it's not forever. So I think that was my greatest lesson in high school.
So what are some of the steps that you took to make sure that you had good articulation of English?
I think I was just so intentional. On top of just making my prayer to God on God please my English, I also became intentional. I started, because I remember I didn't like the English teacher, but reached a point I said, me not liking the teacher is me who is losing. The teacher has nothing to lose. So first I started by loving the teacher, and I started by looking from the girls who came from very good schools, who are speaking good English, who are doing well in English, and I started to just walk with them. So those are some of the steps, just walking with them, and also having the right attitude, especially towards the teachers and the coaches. That is what helped.
At one time, this the mocking from the people or the laughter make you lose your self-esteem?
It did. It did. I would say it's not easy, because when people mock you, they are laughing at your English, they are laughing at you. It made me lose my self-esteem, because remember, I'm coming from a school where I was the top, and I'm coming here. You find people who are even, you thought you are the best, but here you coming and people, you are not the best. You are now challenged. So for a moment, I thought I'm not good enough. But I just found people to speak into my life. And I can tell you today, I no longer battle with any, not feelings good enough. So I did for a moment, but it's something that I've overcome since. And
now, because you find a different environment as far as school performance is concerned, do you drop as far as the performance is concerned, because maybe you find the other girls that you are yoked with are better than you?
I'm telling you that school taught me also so many things. Yes, you coming here as a top student, but you coming also to meet other students who are top. So the competition was too high. I remember the first exam that we did in Form 1. I was position 75
Out of
but with an A constant. Position 75 out of 180 but with still an A. So you can imagine that kind of competition. You have your A but your position 75 and I'm like, wow. So I would say the competition was good because it helped me to think. And they say there is a quote that is said in English. When you realize that you are the best man in the room, then you are in the wrong room. You need to sit in a room that you are getting challenged so that you can never imagine, so that you can never live that life of I'm the best here. It's good to allow challenges. It's good to go to a room where people have better ideas than you, where people are better than you, where people are excelling more than you.
Okay, that's great. As far as education is concerned, that's a good background as far as our guest is concerned. And now we want to get into the main topic that we had for today. And one thing I would like us to note is that even if you are not in a certain field, there are some, the ear says, there are something you hear or you there are some information that you get from people or from any sources that this happens like this, or when you get to this point, this happens like this. So Winfred, you know, we are all products of marriages, and marriages are broad, and they are different with different levels of maybe understanding and trying to articulate issues as a set of couple or married people. And now, sometimes actually in this generation that we are living, and maybe a generation that was, you find that, and actually you hear stories of divorce, and sometimes you may hear that is it a single, or I'm fatherless or I'm motherless. It happens that you don't become fatherless alone, but you may even, like I know two people who actually their parents separated and they left the mother. They are now living with their father. So now that what are the issues that may make marriage die? Or even feel that you are not sensitive, or you feel that it is not working for me and I'm supposed to withdraw from this because what I expected is not coming in as I expected.
Thank you, Jeff, for that question. And of course, these are things I've had myself. As we said, I don't have the experience, but I have friends who are married, have mentors who are married. I have people who have gone through tough marriages who are friends to me. And one of the things that I could say is leading to marriages breaking is empowerment of the girl child. Are we living in moments where the girl child is really empowered? We are no longer in times where the man is the only one working, is the only one who went to school, is the only one who is empowered. Right now, people have concentrated to empower their girls. And there was a time this discussion of girl child empowerment was too huge and too magnified, and we cannot ignore it. But I think we reached a point as a society where we empowered the girl and we forgot to empower the boy. Because if at all we're empowering the girl, who is this boy who is going to handle the empowered girl? So boys need to be empowered. So the moment they get in this marriage together, I mean, the woman is more empowered, has knowledge. We no longer live in those decades where the woman is just the housewife. They are also working, they have their own contribution financially, even idea-wise, they are well knowledgeable and all that. So I think that is the number one problem, where the girl is too empowered, but the boy child has been left behind. So probably we have a problem where the boys or men don't know maybe how to handle this overpowered woman. There's something called inferiority complex that you are feeling, you even feel intimidated, assuming that maybe I'm a CEO of a company, and maybe my husband, if I was married, is still maybe a junior staff, and they are looking at me. They are not looking at me from that point of view as if I'm their a companion, a complement. They are looking at me as a competition. Even something, maybe I can say something that I was not meant to really appear like that, but because of their junior position, they think I'm here to intimidate you. I'm here because you don't have much money to challenge you. I'm not honoring you as the head of this family. So I think the problem number one is that the too much empowering of the girl child, where we left the boy child behind. And another huge problem
and
that
before
we have.
Get to this, the other issue, who are or who are these people empowering the girl child more than, without actually balancing the effect from boy child and girl child?
Who are the people empowering the girl child?
Yes.
It begins from home, but especially educationists, because they are really emphasizing, take your girl to school. Let's have these programs for the girl. Actually, it's everywhere. Even when you go to some churches, let's have this program for our women and our girls. You go to home, dads are speaking. Let me take my girls to school. Let me do this for my girls. What about the boy child? So it's almost everywhere. In our institutions, it's there. In our homes, it is there. In our churches, it is there. But more magnified in our education system. That there is so much emphasis on the girl child. And because you want to give an equal opportunity to the girl, you realize even the cutoff for entering universities for the girl is lower. So sometimes you wonder, why is it lower than that of a boy child? So I think because we never used to have many girls in universities, even we encourage them to join by maybe lowering their cutoff points, maybe making the opportunities more available, other than making the boy child opportunities more available.
And now there is a transition between then the then girls and the now girls. Remember, actually, most of the parents then, they were so tyrannical into a point that they don't have to educate their children. Actually, they are girl child. The girl child. And which, when it came to an issue, actually to a point of being so sensitive, they empower the girl, or even they educate the girl, giving value more than the boy child. Now, how is that transition? Should they remain huko kwa field wakilisha wakilea watoto, ama should they get to school and get empowered?
No, Jeff, I have no problem with the girl child being empowered. Personally, see, I am also a girl, and my parents also took time to empower me. I would say, I would appreciate. So I would not say do not empower your girl, but as we empower the girl, let's not also forget the boy. Let's tag both of them. Let's tag both of them alongside, so that we ensure we have a balance, that we are not forgotten our boys and forgotten our girls. Because when you look at so many programs, even NGO programs, so many programs out here, they are for girls. And even scholarships sometimes. We are encouraging women to, even jobs at times. We want more women to apply for this. Because, for example, there is this group called Women in Technology. And because there has been a shortage of women in technology, you find maybe there is an opportunity where they're saying women only, maybe because they want to encourage more women to apply for these programs. So as we do that, let's also tag along our men and our boys to ensure that there is a balance.
Now that there is more girl child empowerment in relation to our topic today, perspectives in marriage. Do you think there would be a problem marrying, if you're a man, you're marrying a woman who is maybe financially stable than
and
you
actually
are,
more
or,
educated than
or even financial wise?
I wouldn't think there is a problem with that, because what matters is the attitude. I was listening to one of the admired marriage counselors in this country. I'll not mention their names. But they were saying, when as a woman you understand and realize that domestically you are a wife. Yes, in public you are a CEO. But when it comes to domestic issues, you are a wife. So the number one attitude here is to differentiate between my CEO role and my role as a wife. So we have a role to play. There is no problem with any man getting married to an educated woman, woman with more money than them. But I would say it depends with this man. Because if you are feeling intimidated, then there is no reason of you going ahead. Marry what you are comfortable to handle. If you are feeling intimidated by her education, her money, then keep off from her. If you feel like this is what I want, I can handle this, go ahead. But let the attitude be right. Yes, you are a woman, you are a CEO, you have money, but at home you're still a wife. At home your husband is still the head of the family. So I think that bit of attitude really matters. And also having the man that they are not, as long as they are not intimidated, they are not intimidated by your prosperity, by your success, let them come. If you are at all you're intimidated, just stay off. That's what I would say.
Okay, that's great. And before we get to the other section, like Caroline to read some of the comments that we are receiving from the audience.
Okay, there's Dina Mwania saying, watching from Buruburu. Nice show there you have, Carol and Jeff, and your guest, Winfred. There's Simon Peter saying, Odek saying is watching. There's Edith Mutinda saying watching from Nairobi. There's Peter Moore saying great show, perspectives on marriage. I'm loving the show. Great inspiration from our chair lady Winnie. There's Cosmas Mutinda saying watching. There's Favor Nancy Evans watching. Teddy Samis, wonderful show, inspiring, and then the clapping emojis, of course. And then there's Ben Benja saying tuned in from Embakasi. There's Ken Olesaina saying watching from Nairobi. I'm loving the show. You're really inspiring us all. There's Jeff Mwangi saying watching from Machakos, saying the show is great. I'm loving it. Yeah.
And that's great. So Winifred, we are on the issues that are killing marriages, and I think we are, as I said earlier, that we are products of marriage, and we are under the first issue. So what is the second issue?
The second issue, Jeff, I would say it's lack of commitment.
Yeah.
When I was here last time, I said that you marry somebody because you love them. And I gave an example of myself.
Yeah.
I said when I was growing up, in primary, I thought I had seen all the handsome boys, all the awesome boys around. I went to high school. I continued to see more.
Yeah.
I went to university, I continue to see more. Now in the working space, you're even seeing more who are looking even better. So I think what sustains a marriage is that commitment that yes, you will find another, you will not fail to find another better person than you. But the moment you have committed to your spouse, then that's it. You are committed to them. So I think lack of commitment is also our greatest killer of marriages. That every day, of course, you meet a better man. Every day you meet a better woman. You think they are better. Not even that they are better. But if you are committed to your partner, you still stick to them until death do part. So I think that lack of a commitment is such a huge problem that we have of the day. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. And because of, I think there's someone we were expecting around this place, and I think they've arrived. The next guest will be who was two, and who's supporting Winfred on this topic. She's Esther. Welcome to EBN TV. How was your day?
My day was good, lovely. I thank God.
Yeah.
I've done all my other activities. I was in charge, and everything is okay.
Okay, that's great, and welcome. Thank you for. We've rushed you, and thank you for getting us that time for us, so that you be on the spheres of life.
Yeah.
We are so privileged to have you. And so we're handling an issue whereby, she's Winfred, the other guest. She's not married, and where we started is that because marriage, you may be out of marriage, or you may be out of a certain field, and you find that there are the hearsays. There are information that you get from other people or other sources that maybe if you are employed as a gate man, it won't be good for you. If you there are discouragers, and there are those who will encourage you. So the question was, how do you think death in marriage comes from? And she did well. She answered some of the questions, and she did something credible. So because you are in marriage for 24 years, if I'm not forgetting what you shared to us last, actually the first two shows of in marriage.
Exactly.
So what do you think kills marriage? Because I think marriage is pivotal in that it brings in a generation.
Yes.
So where do you think death in marriage comes from? Or people try to withdraw, divorces come in, separation comes in. Where do you think it comes from?
Exactly. Death in marriage comes when you listen to advices from outside. And mostly it can be within the family, the family setup, maybe where you yourself have been born, or where you've been married.
Yeah.
Number two, money. Money can kill marriage.
How
That's
does money
so very
kill
much.
marriages? And we
Yeah,
need
it's
money a
supposed to be
lot.
supporting.
It can kill marriage so much.
Yeah.
Number one, if either of you is handling greater money without knowledge. Let's take, for example, the lady has more than the husband. In our society now, The society and the community teaches us that the man, and even the Bible says the man is a provider. So when the lady has the money, and now she becomes the provider. She's paying rent. She has a car. She fuels the car anytime. She buys food. That builds our ego. And you find at such a time it's like this man is nothing. This one is like I'm the controller of this family.
But where does the problem come in if I'm supporting you as maybe my husband, and at that time you're very low in terms of finances, and then I'm coming in maybe in paying the bills, the school fees. So where's the problem of me having money?
Yeah, the problem is, the problem comes in when you listen to the community and other people. Remember we said marriage is partnering with somebody who you want to fix it with. Somebody you are ready to move together. And if you listen to any other advices are there, so many of them, from friends, from job, within and without. If you just capture one and then you move with it and you apply it without a lot of knowledge, that kills your marriage. Your husband could be very supportive and very respectful to you, but you see, your community tells you, you know what, kwani wewe ndiye ulioana ama uliolewa.
Hizi wanaitwa failure.
Ni kuwekana uliwekana ama ni. You see, that is the kind of things they are telling you. But you see, you are here. You are a team player within the family. If you are a team player and above all you know God, you are born again, that's not a big issue to you. Because this man was your choice. Is part of you, be it good or bad choice. This was your choice among many. So taking care of him and you having more than him is nothing to you. Is nothing to you if you only listen to each other and listen to God.
Okay, there is the issue of empowerment to the girl child.
Yes.
How does that affect life in marriage?
Mostly when this girl empowerment thing has left the boy child wanting. Because there are a lot of associations now who are talking about girl child, girl child, girl child. So the boy child is left desperate. And now they retreat behind. Because equipping the girl child more than the boy child, that is killing the community. Remember, this boy child is a seed carrier. Without them, we cannot do anything. And every time you hear even our communities and our people tell us, you know, siku hizi, the women and the girl child is the one who is doing most of the things. That one is killing a lot, a lot. So unless we encourage one another and we balance it, apart from now taking it like, you know, I'm the one who is empowered, I'm the one who is entitled, and these titles of HR, I'm manager, I'm the whatever, that one you don't call it home. Leave it at your office, come home as a mother, come home as a wife, play your part as a wife at home. That helps a lot.
Someone raised a question, how do you balance your individual needs and also get a chance to balance the needs of your relationship?
It is very simple. It is very simple. The way you manage your office, wherever you are, or your business, wherever you are, you find you have time to check on your accounts, you have time to check on the movement of the products, you have time to check on your workers. Time is usually created. And anything that you love, you have time for that. So there is no day you will say, I have all the time. Create time. If you love your partner, you will always have a time for him or her. It is never anything to do with, I don't have time for you and I love you. No. I will always create time for you because you are part of me. And I feel empty when I don't get your word in this life. So most of the time, it is time creation
Yeah.
that makes the relationship stick closer.
Okay, Winfred, getting to you now. You alone, you're single in short.
Yeah.
And because with someone who will hold your end as far as that is concerned, in our tonight's conversation, where do you feel you should start with your spouse?
Where do you I think I need
Where
to
should
get
you start from?
in terms of
Anything. Maybe your wedding is tomorrow. How do you think? How do you foresee you starting off, or even how does the plane take off? Now look at the simple transition. Today you're single, tomorrow you're married.
I think the number one thing is also to set your priorities right, even as early as now when you are single, and set your expectations right.
Yeah.
Because if at all you are single today, tomorrow you might be married. I think first is to prioritize, because we are living in days where young people are prioritizing weddings and not marriages. You find people have prepared the wedding, it's the cost, the everything, the gowns are ready, the rings are ready, the food is ready, and you realize you are doing things for others, because who are you cooking for in the wedding? It's not for you, it's for another person. The cake is the cake yours. You can't eat a whole 40 kg of cake. It's for the crowd. Who is the only thing I think is for you maybe is the photos and the video and the rings. Maybe the rest of the things, tents. You can't sit in a 400 cent sit a tent. So we prepare for the crowd. We prepare for the wedding, but I think we don't prepare for marriage. So the number one thing is for me, if I was to get married tomorrow or in the near future, which I will, is first of all to prioritize the marriage. And what do I mean by prioritizing the marriage? Get to go to counseling. Get people who have been there to work with you. Get pastors to work with you. Let them tell you things as they are. The reality of marriage.
Now the issue of for better, for worse.
For better, for worse.
Exactly. Other than us running up and down and looking for the most expensive suit in town, the most expensive gown, you want to be carried in a limousine, you want to really spend so much for a day, but you're not invested for the long term. You just investing for the day to day. I want, this is the car that I want. These are the tents that I'm looking for, the seats. But have you taken time to sit down, talk with your partner? As she has spoken about finances, have you sat down to discuss the finances first, even before running up and down, getting gowns and preparing everything? Sit down. Have you analyzed finances? Have you talked about the future? Have you talked about the children? Have you talked about their education? Have you talked about all those things? So I think for me is a preparation for marriage as opposed to the wedding.
I tend to think, adding something on that, those are the things that are discussed when dating. When dating, that is when you bring everything together.
Now there is someone who don't want to open up.
How?
Actually, in some of the matters, life, and maybe in terms of pay, or even what you get, or where you actually not even what you're getting as pay, as your pay, but even your workplace. There are some people who won't disclose where you're working. And
do you really love the person you are getting?
Yes, you do. But actually, there are some. It's like there is a shame that you want to hide behind the faces of the face of your partner, which is very long. So also, I think you have to advise someone who maybe. How real should you be when you're dating?
I think you should be yourself. And that is why we call it dating. This time of dating is when you get to know each other. And that is when you lay down your priorities, as she has said. This is the number of children I would like to get. This is a kind of a family I would like to have. This is a kind of a house I would like to have. You are assuming both of you have nothing. You are not looking at anything. And your finances now will come the last bit. Because that is the time you consolidate and see, we have our dream house. How do we achieve it? We have our dream even bed. How do we achieve that? How do we bring up our children? How many children do we need to have? I tend to think even now, dating should be the longest. Because whatever each and every partner brings on finds the other one quite different.
And is there any specified time that dating should take?
No. There is no specific.
And how long are you saying it should be long?
The long is when you really understand one another. You see, like I can come in, I want to get married, and I need, I say I want 10 children. And my husband is saying, I only need two.
Yeah.
So for us to come to consensus from 10 to 2, to settle to 2, it's not today and we settle on it tomorrow. There has to be that absorption. Why, Esther, do you need 10? And me, I need 2. Then I ask you, why 2? I give you my own reasons for wanting 10. That is just one item on children. How about finances? I could come and say, I don't like sharing my payslip. I will get into it. Let's have everything, the budget drawn. Give me what to tackle, take what you want to tackle, and we move on. But for you to come to consensus at such a time, it's not like today and tomorrow. So marriage is not just something you just come and jump into. Sometimes you might find this intermarriage. And most of the time where you are beginning a relationship, it's not that your man is wanted from your home. And it's not a must that this lady you are picking is also loved by your people. You might find it is the opposite. So for your people to absorb and know that this gentleman has really loved this girl, and there is no otherwise for her, it is us, we support him to get the girl as a wife. It is not easy for such, because sometimes you might find the community on the other side, they have that connotation of this tribe is not good. Oh, a girl from this side is not good. I've ever seen that, I've ever experienced that. Hey, a Kikuyu from Kabete sio mzuri. Hey, a lady from Kangundo, a Machakos lady getting married to Kitui. They think they are too sharp for them. And it is like the people there are not ready to receive you. And they think their son is getting lost. For you to make them understand that it's not within a day.
And how good is it to the two of us being low mentally, that you can't achieve this, you can actually, you got maybe E's or D's in your high school. How does that help? Should you, is it wrong for you to combine an A and a B, or an A and a C?
God is the matchmaker. Your yesterday doesn't determine your tomorrow.
Okay.
If I got a E and you got a A, I can manage.
Actually, there's someone, I've given out that point because there's someone who will ask you for the qualifications that you had. Actually, for the grades, not qualifications.
Yes.
That you had in your prior levels of education. They say letter certificate, primos, junior. So that's why I was keen on that.
Wife material is not on grades. And husband material is not on grades.
Okay, now because Esther, you came at the close of our show, and we are sorry for that. What I want us to do now, because you are coming to the close of the show, is that I want you to give your final word in terms of the conditions that you should set when you starting off your marriage, or even when you're in marriage. I want you to touch that, and I think actually I start with Winnie, so that if you go wrong, someone will give you a correction. So Winnie, from your side, what are the conditions that you should give to your spouse when you are entering marriage?
For me, as I said before, just get ready for the marriage instead of really spending so much time on the wedding part. The wedding is good, but it's just a day's affair. So don't get stressed with a day's thing. And for me, my greatest advice is to the young people, especially looking forward to get married. Because then some people are already ready for it, but they are looking at it like, I don't have finances. Yet you can even, there has been a wedding in this country for 200 shillings, I think. So I believe if you are really looking into investing in your marriage and not the wedding, you don't need to sit down and say you have no money to get married. people can even be joined in a pastor's office with 2 witnesses or whatever number of witnesses, and as long as parents and the guardians are okay with it. So for me, just set the right standards for yourself. If you cannot afford a 1 million wedding, why are you stressing yourself? Why can't you first of all focus on the marriage, get to know what this is, what the kind of a marriage that I want. Open up to each other, get time to understand and know each other. If you don't know each other, get time to first of all know each other, trust each other, because I don't believe there is a marriage without trust. And the question you're asking about past someone not opening up, then if you're not opening up, there's something you're hiding. And as long as you're hiding something, then it means you have not overcome it. And you are bringing that thing maybe into the marriage, no matter how the past has been. So to every young person, if you reach there and you're feeling you need to get married, then having no money for me is not an excuse. Get more time to prepare for your marriage more than your wedding day, because it's just a day's affair. You cannot compromise a whole lifetime affair with a day's affair. So that will be my greatest
Closing
comment.
your comments. I want a 1 million wedding like Ken Olesaina did.
That's we say comparison is so bad, and even marriages are also breaking because of comparison. Because you see somebody in, and we live in social media times where someone will post even they are bought for a wife I don't know which car, and now you get to a house, Jeff, and your wife is not talking to you anymore, and you find out, just an example, and when you inquire, it's because there is a demand that they want. So we are living in days of comparison because of social media pressure. So I would tell everybody, walk your own race. You don't know where this friend who did a 1 million million wedding, where they got the money from. Maybe they are coming from a well-off family. Maybe they are also having deals here, dirty deals. So run your own race and get the blessing from the Lord.
Okay.
So
that's great. Esther, your final word.
Get someone who loves you. That is the key thing. Get someone who loves God. Because with God, all things are possible. Most of your priorities that you are going to set, they might not be achieved. You might achieve 2% out of them. Or you might find the person that is loving you has not really absorbed what you want. But as you walk the journey together, you achieve it. You achieve much. Because the Bible says it's better two. Two are better than one. So you might come with high expectations, high priorities, high standards. You miss the person that would fit in such standards. Mostly what is needed in marriage is love. And the first qualification, somebody who loves and fears God. That person will be advised of God. That person will be led of God. That person will be taught by the Spirit of God. And in any case, if he is weak in any area or disagreement, because you always have disagreements, unless one of you anajifanya. Disagreements and arguments are really there. But when God is in your midst and this person loves God, you will achieve much. You will achieve everything that you have. So most of the time when you set your standards in the beginning and you start looking for a person, you will disqualify so many. Because one will qualify standard 1, 2, 3, but the fourth ones and the fifth one, they are not there. The best thing is get somebody who fears God, somebody who loves you. You will fix the others together as you move in life.
That's great.
And as we wrap up the show, I'd like to read some of the comments. There's Ben Benja saying, tuned in from Embakasi Pipeline. There's Ben Muia saying, watching, wonderful show. There's Joan Wanjiko Mwendo saying, wow, an amazing show you have there, guys. Katongu Regina saying, Essie, I see you, wise woman, Wayne too. Princess Mwendo is watching. Faith Shakina Njuguna is watching. Alice Mbiu tuned in from Jericho. There's Princess Mwendo saying watching, and Emily Elikana saying wow. So that's all we had for you today. Thank you for keeping us company here at Spheres of Life with our two amazing guests. Thank you for honoring our invitation, and we welcome you next time for other episodes and amazing ones where we get to tackle things in life and the questions that you'd like us to answer. I've been your host, Carolyne Muthoni. Till next time, have a good night.
And to our guests, Esther and Winfred, thank you for honoring this invitation to EBN TV. The topic has been the perspective on marriage. Until next time, I'm your host, Jeff Kimayu.